Hey guys, and welcome back to the Aether Hub. I'm Simon again, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. In today's video, we'll again be examining a saga from Dominaria's past. New saga cards in Dominaria represent historically important events, eras, or areas on this storied plane. The topic of this saga goes way back to one of the first recognized civilizations on Dominaria, an ancient people whose noted works in artificing and machinery led to the rise of the most intellectually advanced empires Dominaria has ever seen. Though, it would be their great deeds in these fields that would also eventually lead to their downfall. Thus is the saga Fall of the Thran, whose very artwork shows the tragic end to an otherwise advanced utopia. And it all came down to one thing: Powerstones. That's right, Powerstones, which not only served as an energy source for the Thran, but actually did almost everything else in their civilization. The Thran constantly worked on advancing their technology while finding new and creative ways to manufacture and produce more of this valuable substance. The Powerstones were at the center of Thran culture, and they can be seen near the bottom of the art in Fall of the Thran. Like I said, Powerstones did it all. But how did a material that brought the Thran so much power eventually lead to their destruction? Well, it all has to do with the type of illness or radiation that the stones produced, sort of like a side effect. It took some time, but as the Thran integrated the Powerstones more and more into their daily lives, the effects of this illness became undeniable. But of course, the people in power denied it anyway. This is actually where we see Yawgmoth, that death cloud Yawgmoth, actually do something good. Back when he was a normal Thran, he was in fact a practicing doctor of sorts, who championed the idea that the Powerstones were the cause of this plague. This news threatened the Thran in political power at the time, so, saying the thing that gives you power was killing the people tends to destabilize things a bit. As a result, they banished Yawgmoth and, well, he got all Phyrexian crazy. Speaking of Phyrexians, what role did they play in the Fall of the Thran? They are pictured on the card's art at the bottom after all. Well, the Phyrexians were of course discovered by Yawgmoth, who was really feeling revenge at this point. A planar portal was opened in the cave system beneath the Thran's capital city, known as, here comes the butcher, Halcyon. Halcyon was actually a beautiful floating city, which, of course, used Powerstones found in the below caves to stay suspended in the air. This is of course depicted as the central image in the art for Fall of the Thran. The true end of the Thran would come with the arrival of the planeswalker named Tefed, who was charmed by the still human Yawgmoth and manipulated into his dark schemes. Using her ability to planeswalk, Yawgmoth tasked her with finding a barren plane to which he could impose his will. Unfortunately, she succeeded and found an artificial plane whose creator had recently died. Yawgmoth was shown this world, psychically tied his will to the plane, and named it Phyrexia. Now with an army of living machines, Yawgmoth was ready to take revenge on the Thran Empire. Yet there was still another piece of this puzzle, a structure known as the Null Moon, or Sphere. This is the image at the very top of the Fall of the Thran artwork, floating above even the floating city. It used to be a facility locked in orbit known as the Null Sphere, which was used to control the Thran's vast mechanical army, and a key target in Yawgmoth's initial wave of attacks. Yawgmoth used its controls to cause the Thran's own mechanical protectors to attack their creators, easily leading to huge victories for Yawgmoth and his followers, putting him in the seat of power in the Thran Empire. Of course, a violent coup isn't the best way to grow supportive followers, and there were inevitably rebellions. The Null Sphere was then used for its Stone Charger weapons, a highly concentrated gas of Powerstone radiation capable of killing entire cities of people with ease. He used it to quell several events of unrest, wiping towns completely off the map. Eventually though, the crew aboard the Null Sphere grew resistant to Yawgmoth's cruelty and decided to dump their store of Stone Charger on top of his newly captured capital, leading to the true fall of the Thran Empire. Yawgmoth and his followers were twisted even further by the chemical, becoming the first true Phyrexians and only surviving as they escaped to Phyrexia through the portals beneath the city. The Null Sphere was sacrificed, killing everyone on board and everyone below in the once great floating city, eventually falling back to Dominaria as the Null Sphere was left dormant and became known as the Null Moon. Not all of the Thran would die on this tragic day, but the Empire itself could never truly recover, and their advances would be lost to all of Dominaria. And that, you guys, is the story behind the fall of the Thran. This art is just perfect in capturing the story of this civilization and how its downfall would usher in some of the greatest stories and tales Magic the Gathering would have to offer. In fact, we still see the results of the Thran's amazing work today in our return to Dominaria, though we'll never truly know their splendor again. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and of course share it across the multiverse. You can also support this channel by joining the Vorthos army through Patreon. Get free signed cards along with other exclusive goodies by checking the link in the description below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time here on the Aether Hub.